Social Security, and the new bill just introduced to change benefits. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. Alright, yes, yet again, we just got another new bill introduced in Congress to change Social Security and adjust benefits. So in this video, I want to discuss all the details of this bill, let you know what it means, and how it's going to impact you as a Social Security beneficiary. We have a lot to talk about right here in the video, so let's get right into it. However, really quickly before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as I am your one and only daily advocate, and I am very much dedicated to you and this community to continue doing all this research, breaking it all down into these short videos, which I deliver a couple times throughout the day right here on the channel, so you can stay posted with what is actually going on and how all of these announcements are going to impact you, or if there's anything that comes up that you can possibly grab, like money, benefits, checks, programs, or anything else out there. And I want to keep you updated with everything going on in regards to all these new announcements coming out of the administration, the president, lawmakers, Congress, new bills, packages, proposals, reform to these very important programs. Yeah, you can see there's a lot going on right now. Either way, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, so you don't miss any videos going forward during this very busy time, and I'll continue to be here for you right by your side every single day, as that's my commitment, and I'm sticking to it. Alright, thanks again. Let's jump into it and talk about the new bill that was just introduced in Congress and what this means for fixed income beneficiaries. So how many bills are we up to now? What are we at? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bills, something like that now? I mean, seriously. There's been a ton of different bills and proposals that have hit the table here just in the last, say, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. All these new bills that continue to hit the table. However, to be totally fair, has Congress done anything about these bills? Well, to be honest with you, not a whole lot. A lot of talk about all of it, but as we all know, talk is very cheap. So in this video, I want to talk about the new bill that was just introduced and let you know what this actually means for fixed income beneficiaries. Maybe they'll actually come forward with one of these and actually do something about it, but as of right now, this is just another bill. All right, so now this bill was actually introduced by one Democratic senator and one Democratic representative. Interesting. Typically, we don't see combinations like this, but this is how this one is actually coming out. Now, the name of this bill is the Social Security Protection and Preservation Act. Yeah, right? Another one. All right, so another one that we get to add to our list of different bills that are out there right now. So the whole idea behind this one is, yet again, to extend the solvency of the Social Security program. So as we know from that report that was just released a couple months ago from the Social Security Board of Trustees, the solvency of Social Security is going to be out until about 2035. In other words, at about 2035, the program becomes insolvent without any action out of Congress. In other words, if they don't do anything between now and 2035, the program will become insolvent. In other words, they'll only be able to pay out about 80% of promised benefits. So that's a big concern, right? That's a big problem going forward in about 13 or so years from right now. I know it's a long time, but guess what? Time goes very fast, and it takes forever for Congress to do something about it, right? So the fact of the matter is, this new bill that was just introduced would extend the solvency of the program out until 2052. So it would add about 17 additional years beyond where the current insolvency date currently is. So going from 2035 out until around 2052 would be the new plan with this bill. Now, that is number one that they want to do within this. That's a good thing, because remember, if nothing is done between now and 2035, as in the insolvency timeframe, all benefits will be reduced, as of right now, by 20%. Let me give you a quick example on that. If you're receiving, for example, say $800, your benefit would be reduced by 20%, reducing it by $160 from $800 down to, what is that, $640. Yeah, would that be a problem? I think all of us can probably agree that would be a major problem. So making sure that Social Security is able to pay guaranteed promised benefits for many more decades and years to come into the future is a very important thing here, which is probably why we're seeing all of these new bills that are being introduced out of lawmakers, right? So another thing that they want to do within this bill is also change the way that the annual cost of living adjustment is actually calculated. Just like all of these other bills out there where they want to change it from the CPIW to the CPIE, that is also something that they want to do here as well. So The fact of the matter is, we have all these different lawmakers coming out. Let me quickly run through just a short list of all these different proposals that are out there on the table right now. And yes, I know that I recently talked about this in one of my videos, but the fact of the matter is, let me just briefly run through all the different bills that are out there right now, just so you can see all of these that are currently on the table that have been introduced here. And I want to say probably the last 6, 7, 8 months or so. All right, so we have the Social Security 2100. We have the Social Security for Futures Generations Act. We have the SSI Restoration Act. We have the Social Security Expansion Act. That was the one that was introduced just a couple months ago out of Bernie Sanders and other Democratic senators to raise benefits by $200 a month. And now we have this one. So again, I feel like I'm forgetting one, but that's at least what I can think of off the top of my head. So you can see here, right here, there's just all these proposals. And again, I know that I'm missing at least one or two, but these are just the few common ones that I can think of off the top of my head without even really thinking about it too deeply right now. But the fact of the matter is they're working on this and they ultimately want to do this as well. So some pretty good changes, some nice good things that are working on or that Congress is currently working on to adjust Social Security, but yet again, some other major changes that they need to implement probably sooner than later to actually make sure that this program is solvent for many more years to come and so they can continue to pay out all of their guaranteed and promised benefits for beneficiaries for many more decades. Because as of right now, we might be looking at an insolvency issue in a matter of years, which would not be a good situation at all. So anyway, the whole idea behind this one is ultimately to push out the insolvency date. Now let me throw out a couple other pieces of information here because this is also interesting and something we need to take into consideration. So this bill would actually push out the insolvency date by about another 17 years, from 2035 out until 2052. So about 17 more years is what it would add to it. However, the Social Security 2100, even though this one is very popular and is probably getting a lot of traction and support from lawmakers, this one actually only pushes out some of these provisions by 5 years. That's it. It only changes the program and pushes out insolvency by 5 years. But after that, all these different provisions within the Social Security 2100 actually sunset after 5 years. That wouldn't be exactly the best thing in the world, right? Now, another thing, I'm going to throw this out there as well. Within the Social Security Expansion Act, that is the one that was introduced by Bernie Sanders and other Democratic senators to increase benefits by $200 a month. That one would actually increase the solvency all the way out until 2096. So what is that, like 74 years from right now? So I think we'd probably be pretty good to go, right? I think all of us would probably be pretty good by then, right? Anyway, the fact of the matter is that one is probably pretty good to go because at the end of the day, maybe the Social Security Expansion Act raising benefits and ultimately pushing out the insolvency date by another, 74 years from right now, or another, 61 years from the time of the 2035. I think that's probably a pretty good thing. But the fact of the matter is, let me throw this out there as well. A lot of us have been wondering, can they get this done through reconciliation? Nope, unfortunately they can't. They cannot do this through reconciliation. It must be done through the conventional process through Congress. We know how that goes, right? It doesn't really go that well these days, right? So anyway, this is something that needs to be done through Congress, and they need to get it done through the conventional ways. They cannot do it through reconciliation. In other words, just a simple majority vote. Nope, can't be done. So anyway, I know this is all still out quite a few years from right now, but the fact of the matter is, if you're currently receiving benefits today, do you plan on receiving benefits in, 12, 13 years from right now? If you're currently receiving benefits now, I would probably anticipate you probably plan on getting benefits in, 12 or 13 years from now as well, right? So if that's the case, then we probably want to pay attention to this because it's going to be very important. Anyway, another bill that we can chalk up onto the tally list here of all these different bills that Congress has been playing around with. And I can't even imagine how many more are going to be introduced here. But the fact of the matter is, it only takes one, right? I've said that before in other videos. It only takes one to get the deal done, right? So the fact of the matter is, cast a wide net here. And ultimately, if we can just get one of them done, that's all we really need. Anyway, this is the new bill that was just introduced in Congress. Of course, as I do get any more details on this bill and or any of the other bills that are circling around Congress right now, of course, I'll be right here for you, breaking it all down, letting you know what's going on and how this is going to impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your wallet, your bank account, and ultimately everything else going on right now. So again, Thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out some of the other thousands of videos right here on the channel. Until next time, have a good one. Thanks so much for joining me. And go back and check out those other videos here on the channel. There's a lot of good information out there, and I'm here for you in any way that I can be. All right, enjoy your day. I'll catch you again later in the next video.